evolved in what they are. There's some part of them that didn't mature. I can think of that with me as well. And there's a lot of things that I need to grow up on that I didn't. And it was some of my habits that were preventing me from maturing. A lot of the unforgiveness as well. And so I would remain like immature in so many different ways, even as I'm very mature in other things. Um, but there was not a balance. But in any case, I think I did want to end right here because I probably have a bunch of people that have their hands up. And it's the same cast. And I will not have a discussion about my pastor today. Just let you know, not going to happen. In case you guys are all ready to.
Oh, wow. That was a long one. You did pretty good there. You left only 15 minutes for actual discussion. Pretty
Yeah, sorry
impressive,
about
John.
that. Sorry about that. Well, what's up? I mean, I'm gonna guess you don't want to talk about anything that I talked about. That you have your own
I do.
topic.
No,
Oh, you
I
do?
do.
Oh,
Yeah, my first
great.
comment was that you seem to have turned like a 180 from you
Okay.
from when you started. Do you remember
Really?
some of the comments you made when you first started
Mm-hmm.
about you're getting mad at the homeless people? You're like, "Oh, no, I'm not going to like you're not just going to have all this and like that's just not going to happen. You just show up." At
Mm-hmm.
first, you before it was, "Oh, the neighbors. They're like getting mad because I got all this stuff for them. Like they don't like deserve that. Oh, they were even mad that he has a waffle maker. He's serving them coffee. Oh, they're getting angry."
I don't think that's why they're mad, but go on.
That is what you said.
Okay,
You
whatever.
said that they were mad because they didn't think that the homeless deserved such good food.
Um, I think some people, yeah. Well, actually, the comment with that comment was not the neighbors, because the neighbors, not all of them saw the spread that I had, like in terms of photographs. So that comment is actually from online people, just to let you guys know.
It
Yep.
doesn't matter because you were mocking that.
Well, I'm just clarifying that it wasn't the neighbors, it was
Doesn't
online
matter.
people. Okay.
The criticism you were mocking, but now you seem to be on board with that. You're like, no, this ain't just like you show up and you're just gonna get treated like a king. In fact, you were saying before that is your intention, not only to treat them like a king, but to treat them like the king of kings.
You
Right, John?
you sound a little bitter, sir. You're a little excited as well. Are you having a bad day?
The day just started, John.
Yes, it did. And you're in such a bad mood already?
I'm not. I'm in a great mood.
Well, you could fool me. I don't know who else you're fooling.
But what's the address like? What do you think about what I said though?
Well, I just acknowledge that you said that. You don't need for me to respond, do you?
Yeah,
Well, I refuse to. How about that?
excellent, great.
Okay.
That's what I expected.
Mhm. Good. You get then. Usually, when people get what they expect, they're not upset. They're happy because they get what they
That's
expect.
that's obviously not true.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to debate it. It's just my opinion. Doesn't need a response. But yeah, we're gonna barbecue again today. And the way that I look at it, some of these barbecues are amazing. Like the other day, I myself haven't had lamb for over 20 years because I got sick one time from lamb curry at some Indian restaurant at a shopping mall. So, but I
Well,
tried it
we already
again
heard
this
about
time
this, John.
barbecue.
The
Yeah, I thought it
barbecue.
would. Yeah, so I'm just impressed at the quality of ingredients that are being offered up these days. And as far as the barbecue itself, I don't have a problem with all that like wagyu and ground tri-tip burgers and all that stuff. But um,
You want to
what I
just start
did have a
reading the
pro
ingredients, like pick
what I,
something
what I,
up off the
Can
what
table?
I
I what I did
comment on
have an issue
something?
was with the participation in a barbecue to where Um, the amount of like self-absorbed interest was almost shocking. I'm not used to that. I've had barbecues with a lot of people, and um, at least in these barbecues, um, they're only interested in what they're going to get, and it's a little disheartening. I'm hoping that that'll slowly change, but that's what I'm working with.
Are you familiar with the homeless?
I am, but not in every environment, like barbecues with the homeless. That's new to me. Now, when I had barbecues, there'd be homeless people around. I shoot them over a hot dog or two, and
I see
that
Johnny
way.
Haas is in the audience. Would you be willing to bring him up?
Well, he doesn't even have his hand up.
Well, the last 2 days you invited me up without ever raising my hand, so that's not something that is
Well, I disagree, sir. I told you that according to what I was seeing, your hand was there. But in any
what.
case,
Well, it wasn't though. So
well, I'll
And
tell
today
you
it
I,
what.
was. Today it was not the
I'll
last
tell
two
you.
days.
I'll tell you what. If it's a mistake, right, that you did not have your hand up, it was a case that I thought you had your hand up, and it's normally the case that I don't invite people unless they have their hand up. Now, is that 100%? No, because sometimes I want to talk to somebody, and so even though they don't have their hand up, I invite them to come to the stage.
Anyway, but Jane's been
Okay.
waiting patiently. What's your question, Jane?
I
Are you
wanted to
trying to
know,
run the room now? But anyway, go on, Jen.
um, some of the behaviors that you were observing from the homeless people that you're dealing with. I wondered if you
Mm-hmm.
saw any of your behavior towards us
Mm-hmm.
reflected in them, because a lot of what you were describing
Mm-hmm.
negatively about their behavior, I saw in you when you were
Mm-hmm.
dealing with us. And I
Could you
wondered
be
if
more
you also saw
specific,
that.
or do you want me to answer first?
So like
I
the
think you have
guy,
something. Okay.
so like the guy who was hoarding and was
Uh-huh.
uh, complaining to you about his stuff being thrown away,
Mm-hmm.
you essentially agreed with the person who threw away his stuff and told him that he was wrong. That was
No,
behavior.
no, 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 no.
You did say that he was
I didn't.
wrong.
I never said. Number one, I never said that I agreed with his mother and his sister who threw away all his stuff. That's number one.
You said that she had every right to throw away his stuff because it was on her property.
Yeah, just because you have a right to do something and they exercise that right, just like the police and how they exercise their prerogative to enforce whatever law, doesn't mean that I agree with them just because I understand that they have every right to. Do you see the difference?
Okay, so that wasn't my critique. My critique was that in those situations where we say things that could be perceived as negative
Mm-hmm.
about your behavior or the things that you're doing, and
Mm-hmm.
that
Hmm.
we find that they might be harmful to you, you
Mm-hmm.
get very upset and say that we are critiquing you and that we should be looking for the positive. And I
Jane,
was curious.
I got a
Go
quote for
ahead.
you. Maybe this is exactly what you're thinking of. It's the quote from John earlier is something like, "I'm not gonna sign off on your BS." Right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, the
when
way
we
I look at
see
it,
BS
when I
coming
did
from
go into
you
when I did
and
go
we
into your
call it out,
rooms,
you get very upset.
well, when I did go into your rooms, right, I understand that it is
I'm
the
talking about these
prerogative.
rooms.
I understand that it's the prerogative of the mods in your rooms, right, to conduct your rooms. I don't think I've ever complained about, uh,
I'm
you
talking
know,
about in these rooms.
and these rooms. This is my house, and so it's my rules. And if you don't like it, there's a leave button. That's how I look at it.
Right, but what I'm saying is when you uphold these standards that we need to look at the positive and we can't critique
You don't need
anything
to
you
do
do,
anything. You can look at all the negative you want. I don't understand what you're having me say you need to
you
look at the
spend a
That
lot of
positive.
doesn't seem
time
like what you're saying to me.
complaining. You spend a
Yeah.
lot of time complaining about how we only see the negative and
I
that we
wasn't even
need to be
talking
more
about you today.
positive. I'm saying in general in these rooms, especially in the last couple weeks, you have
Hmm.
been very negative towards Tom and saying that
Mm-hmm.
he is only looking out for the negative things. You just said that
Mm-hmm.
one of the last times he came up to talk to you. But
Mm-hmm.
when you were talking to these homeless people, it didn't seem like you were
Did
finding the
you
positive in their
did
behavior.
you did you listen to my room yesterday and what I said about that?
I don't know that I listened to the one from yesterday. I listened to the ones previous in the week.
Because yesterday I'd reflected upon
Oh, I
uh
was in here yesterday. No, I listened to the one yesterday. I was in here
okay,
live.
so I think the title was something to the effect of it was actually the day before, Jane. And the day before was I thank you, Lord, that I'm not like these, and you could fill in the blank. These heathens, these atheists, these whatever, discord people, and this is what I was likening myself to is this Pharisee who was looking down upon these individuals from other
Mm-hmm.
platforms and
Right, but
so
you
forth.
were doing that just now in this room.
And so that particular room, which was day before yesterday, I was reflective and actually repentant upon that sort
Excellent.
of yeah.
Well,
Well,
it sounds like you
I
need
excellent.
to
thought
repent again because you just did it this morning.
um to you guys.
Yeah, in this room just now, you were looking
Uh-huh.
down at the people who want to be treated like kings. They
Mm-hmm.
expect to get all this food without working. They
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to run their life. They don't have any life skills.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You were
I
very
don't think
condescending towards them.
well, I'm gonna respectfully disagree. I'm just saying what is, not
Well,
what ought to be.
there we go.
Is
And
ought.
Jane, with that
You
we
you
with
know
that
that
all cleared
discussion.
up and him, saying he's not doing that, that's great. We can just move forward. But I was listening to John's monologue, and it seems like he's finding out that a lot of these people have problems in their life. And there's
Yeah,
something
no, that's
about
obvious.
would
That's
you mind,
obvious.
John,
Yeah, go
would it
ahead.
be okay if I finish my statement, please? Thank you, John. Yeah, he's saying that's obvious, and yeah, we all thought that was obvious, but maybe in some sort of deeper realization, because John found it significant to point it out. So let's just say that there's something significant there.
Yeah, the
And he's
significance
finding, okay,
is
John, would you mind if I finish my statement, John?
no. So I'm going to reply now. So the significance is very simple. It's a case that these actions, which are, listen, they could do whatever they want. They just can't do whatever they want around what I'm doing. If they're going to participate in what I'm doing, there's going to be some rules as far as what needs to be done.
Yeah, we got it.
And
Yeah,
yeah, and so it's that simple. Just like in the very beginning, when I fed them some food on a paper plate, they flung it like frisbees after they were done with it.
yeah, we heard that. Okay,
And what
would you
my
mind if I
point
just
is,
finish my statement?
that that behavior is going to be unacceptable moving forward, and it was quickly quashed. And this type of behavior is a little similar, but a little bit different, and that's not going to be acceptable either. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, we understand. Thank you for the clarification, John.
But
So
I'm not saying that
now I
they
still
and their
can't
own
talk. Okay.
I'm not saying that they and their own conduct must change in some way when I'm not there. That's not what I'm saying at all.
No, that's clear. Thank you
They
for
can
the
do whatever they
clarification.
want. They just don't. They're not going to do it around me. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha. Thank you for the clarification, John. So I think John is discovering, like, that they're with these homeless people, all of them have one thing in the common. There is a reason why they are homeless.
Hmm.
It could be
That's true.
alcoholism. It could be drug use.
Hmm.
It could be their this or that.
Mental
Who knows?
illness.
Yeah, mental illness is a great one. But one thing that's not clear, John, is what's the reason you are homeless?
Um, I think it's the results of my lifestyle over a period of uh like decades, couple of decades, where I was finding like advantages and weaknesses in casinos and and so forth. Another part about it is um evasion of, I think Katie called it correctly, that I was on the lam. Now, I might have thought at the time, oh, you know what? I have all of these resources. Closed up. I'm gonna take a vacation, a long extended vacation. And I did travel 1,500 days straight, but I think she was correct that that would not have happened if I wasn't trying to evade my landlord who was trying to sue me for $500,000. And um, so by doing such, I'm under the radar, the 7 year, 10 year TRW, if you guys know about these things. It was a case. Well, I was just going to write it out. And then so writing it out, it's going to take a lot of capital. And so the casinos got involved and the promotions. And so that whole scene played out. And no longer am going to casinos anymore. I'm no longer trying to evade anybody anymore. And so that's where I'm currently at right now.
John,
And
you
so
just
that
answered
to me,
the
that
answer to
clearly
your
explains
question was
why
that
I was
all the,
homeless.
just to summarize, the question was asked and you gave all these reasons, which in your closing sentence are not applicable now. Why are you currently homeless? What is preventing you from being homed now?
Yeah, so that's a simple question. Like if somebody is addicted to crack and that he is checked himself into an intake program and he's 2 months into the program, right? And the question is asked to him, well, you're not using now. Why aren't you looking for a job right now? Well, it's not necessarily the case that, like, and I've explained this to you, sir, numerous times already. Your expectations is not my ambitions, okay? And so the way I look at it, I have two vehicles, right? One of which is a motorhome, which depending on how you look at it, one person said, "Oh, that's high class homeless," right? But is it
You
real
don't have
estate?
access to it.
No, that's not true. I'm sitting in it right now. Okay, so in any case, right? Um, is there a concern about that right now? No. Is it going to be like this in perpetuity? No. Right now, the way I look at it, considering where I was and where I'm going, it is not your timeline. Certainly not. And I explained
Yeah,
to
I'm
Well,
and I
asking on
explained to
your
you,
timeline.
and I
the
explained to
other day
you.
you were very
So
critical
man,
of the guy
so
who wanted a job, and you said a job doesn't
so
just fall out of the sky. Do homes fall out of the
well,
sky, or are you working on that?
he's looking for a job. I'm not. There's a difference.
So do you
But in any
expect a
case,
home to fall
so
out of the sky?
I'm gonna close up this room. I have
Look at the
some things to
time. Look at
say.
the time. Saved by the
And
bell.
so, yeah, these types of this is a repetitive question, Tom, that you have,
You
and
sound very bitter. Are you having a bad day?
I've answered you, sir.
No,
No,
you
sir,
didn't.
I'm not having a bad day. I'm having a great day, but I can't say I'm rolling my eyes with the topic of conversation that you two are bringing to the table. Certainly. So I'm going to pray it out the room. Okay, Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you for all the challenges that we have in life, that I pray that we may learn to be content in any circumstance, whether it's living in a mansion, whether it's living on the streets, or whether it's being in your will, out of your will. We know
The Lord helps
that,
those who helps themselves.
yeah, that's not in the Bible, by the way, and it's not biblical. It's not the truth. But in any case, I just pray that we may focus on the truth